California Commission on Aging, extend my welcome and showing the folks back in this building that seniors do indeed count. And I want to do a special shout out to my new friends from the Inland Empire. You guys are terrific. These are the folks that are on the bus at 12:40 this morning. Got here at 6 o'clock this morning, so they definitely are worth recognizing. I have a question for you. How many people here worry each month about having enough money to pay the rent, to pay the doctor, to pay the grocery bill, all of that, right? Right, I see most of the hands are going up. Well, and the fact is, here in California, the Elder Index tells us that 50%, 1 in 2 seniors in this state do not have enough money for the basics like food, transportation, healthcare, and housing. 1 in 5, 20%, are below the federal poverty level, which means they make less than $1,000 a month to get by with all of their expenses. At Serving Seniors, where I'm the president and CEO in San Diego, 95% of the folks that we work with live below the federal poverty level. They're struggling, and we see 2,400 people a day through our doors. I see the struggle. But what I also see is determination. I see their fortitude in trying to make a difference, and most of all, what I see is dignity. And I think that's something that is forgotten when people talk about poverty, that these are folks that have made a contribution and done something significant during the course of their lives. I think that's a fact, and I want people to know that. But also know that people are struggling in this state. So that's fact number one I want to make. Fact number two, I think we all know. There's going to be a whole lot more seniors in this state. 1,000 people a day turn 65. By 2030, almost 9 million. By 2050, 11.5 million. So the two things we have a big group of folks that don't have enough money to meet their basic needs, and we have a whole lot of them. So that's the realities of what we're dealing with. Fact number three is that over the last decade, we've seen a series of devastating cuts to critical senior programs like senior nutrition, which is very close to my heart. I want to say the state has recovered financially, but the time is now for these programs to recover as well. Time is now for these programs to recover. I want to tell you a story about a hero of mine, a guy named John Curry. He has been a volunteer for us for about 10 years. Grew up on a farm in Michigan, was a caregiver to his family. His parents lived well into their 90s, worked in the factories in Detroit, making cars. Got laid off at about age 60 and moved out to San Diego, hoping to maybe live a dream and find a job and be able to get by. Things didn't work out very well for John when he got out to San Diego. He ended up losing his car where he was sleeping, ended up on the streets, and actually ended up being homeless on the streets for 10 years. But a couple of years after he was on the street, he was referred to Serving Seniors by another homeless person. And John started volunteering. He didn't tell us that he was homeless. Every morning he would get up and go down to a restroom on the Embarcadero and get cleaned up and come in. And he didn't want to take charity. So what he would do is volunteer in order to get his meals and wouldn't tell us. And volunteered every single day. And it was just a couple of years ago that another senior told us, did you know that John is homeless? So we of course approached him. And when we asked him, why didn't he seek help? He said, there are other people who need help more than me. And we worked and we worked and we worked, and we finally got him to accept help. And we got him moved into one of our senior housing facilities. And I asked him, what was his feeling when he moved into the new place? And I thought it was going to be something big and profound, but what he said is, it was great to have a bed to sit on, to put on my shoes. Little thing, he said, sitting on the sidewalk, it was awful cold and tough to do. And John doesn't think he's a hero, but he's a hero to me. But he says, I'm just a guy helping others. And the point is, I think we can learn a lot from John Curry. He taught me what it means to live a purposeful life and to make a difference in the lives of others. And California has a remarkable array of seniors, just like John, just like the people here, who make an impact each day. And my view is that the state of California needs to honor that impact by building the infrastructure that not only allows these seniors to survive, but to thrive, just like John Curry. The California Commission on Aging, which is the state's principal advocacy body for older adults, is doing its part by providing input to the governor on legislature on these kinds of issues. And I know the assembly members here can attest that we're giving them an earful and keeping them on their toes to make sure that we get those programs. So I have a request for you after lunch. When you go into the building behind me and make your visits, I want you to go in, see your member of the assembly, see the member of the state senate, but remind them that older adults in this state are an asset and that you should be treated as an asset. You can also tell them that you're an asset who votes and that you're going to be keeping an eye on what they do and hold them accountable for their actions and making sure we build infrastructure. So I want to close by saying our time is now. Let's make sure everybody in this building knows that seniors count. We're here, and we're not going to take no for an answer. Thank you.